Welcome back to Psychic Street Smarts. I'm Catherine MacDonald, and as usual, you can check us out here every Wednesday from 7 to 8, and always in podcast. You can also find me on www.spiritualcat.com. But the focus tonight, I'm talking with a wonderful person here who knows a lot about energy, and her name is Julia Hidy. And for folks that may or may not be checking out that channel, we do have the website up, but it is www.energyforyourlife.com. And we've been talking about receiving, recycling the energy, and these are concepts. So how do we do it? How do you receive more energy?
Well, actually, Catherine, it's interesting you said you receive and recycle energy, and that's how most people think. Most people forget the absolute most crucial step.
Retain it.
Yeah. You have to keep it before you can give it away.
That's true. That just shows you my thought process.
Oh, yeah, but it's so common. Everybody thinks that way. They get stuck in this pattern of give it, it's like they grab it, they give it, they grab it, they give it. And they don't take those, whether it's a nanosecond, whether it's a feeling of entitlement, whether it's an actual conscious act to say, I deserve to keep some of this energy before I give it away. And, our poor mothers, bless them, and our fathers, they didn't know about that. And yes, they gave and gave and gave and gave, many of them, until they dropped. And parenting is one of the most challenging things to have to do with regards to your personal energy. But it happens also with people that are working too much, or that are workaholics, or that have not balanced out the things that they do in their lives enough, and they consequently get slammed at a certain point in time where they become ill, and an illness becomes a really serious thing because they don't have the reserves to fight off whatever it is that's come at them, whether it's a virus, a bacteria, or some other difficulty with their health. So, the retain part is something that we, again, culturally have to look at so we can shift our attitudes and become much more balanced. It's like if you're a happy person, you've got energy to spare. Great. If you're not happy, what kind of energy are you sharing with people?
Yeah.
What kind of vibe are you
putting
sharing?
Out there? Yeah.
And so, but also, this is very important, what kind of vibe are you projecting into yourself?
So, it's about receiving the right vibe of energy. So, what are some practical ways that you can do that?
I mean, the most easy things to start with, relatively speaking, are eat better and breathe better. Many people don't even use the portion of the capacity of their lungs. There she goes. She takes a deep breath now.
Of course not, because you've drawn the attention to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but how many people, when they're slumped over at a computer, you're typing like this, and I mean, you've got to sit up straight to kind of get that breath happening.
Yeah.
Trained vocalists know how to really suck in the air into their bodies and then work with it and project it out and appropriately. But too often we don't breathe deeply enough, and we're not breathing fresh enough air, and we have these problems. And when you think about, there was an interesting study done last year by Marie Claire magazine, which is the leading women's magazine in the U.S., and 25% of women that were polled, and it was a large group, said that they went on a diet to get more energy.
I've done it.
Oh, how many people have?
I've done it.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Because they got into a series of patterns where all of a sudden it was like, crash, boom. And then they think, oh my gosh, I've got to get the energy up from around my ankles. I've got to do certain things, or I have an event coming up, or I just don't like feeling this way. Take your pick. Any one of those is going to cause a problem.
Yeah. So it's basically eat better and breathe better.
And then think better. Think better so that you will emote better. too often we get into these very emotional knee-jerk reaction places within ourselves. Reverse it. Really, really get to the point where you know what you're thinking about and how much of it. I mean, everybody goes through their share of difficulties and challenges, and yes, you are going to ruminate about certain things, but at a certain point in time, stop yourself and say, okay, have I thought this through, and is that enough?
Do I really need to obsess about this another hour or
another 5 minutes, whatever, or another 10 years?
Yeah,
you know, there are a lot of or 20 or 30 years.
I can actually relate to that because I have folks that I used to know that you change and you sort of move out of that sphere because they're still going on about stuff that happened to them when they were 12. And they're still, so that's a very concrete example where, you know, somebody just can't let it go.
Yeah.
So the idea is to let this stuff
go.
Or won't.
Both.
Won't.
And
very
won't.
And or won't, so you're talking about receiving, so it's about breathing better, eating better, thinking better, so you can emote better.
And then you're going to be staying in your now more often.
Okay.
And when you are in your now, think about it. There's less accidents. You're able to be more productive. You're not having all this emotional baggage. I mean, we have different levels of baggage in our lives, and different people have different kinds of baggage. There are people that are running around with a nice little Samsonite case of baggage, personal baggage. And then there's the people that have the U-Haul out back, and then there are the people with the 40-foot tractor trailer hauling it around, hauling all their emotional stuff with them. I mean, this is the challenge that, you know, how much baggage are you hauling around with you?
Yeah.
And that is a huge energetic drain. If you are present in your now and focused on what you want to do and achieve and be positive in this moment, you will be.
Yeah, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't.
Yeah, and it comes down to, it's a very simple process. And then when you need, I'm not talking about you throw anything that is really hurting you or bothering you under the rug. That's not about it. It's about finding the appropriate place and space and headspace so that this starts to become paradise. The 7-inch space between your ears becomes paradise rather than negative land.